Hi everybody, Warren Woodward here. Today we're filming at my place, and I've got a gentleman here with some very sophisticated equipment. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be comparing the analog meter that's on this house to the new Landis+Gyr smart meter that APS has been installing lately. And you're going to see the difference in what's called the waveform of these two devices. And I think what you're going to see is going to be very disturbing. So let's go on inside and have a look. Hi everybody, so here we are inside our little garage storage room, which happens to have the breaker panel for our house electricity. On the other side of this breaker panel is our analog meter. Now, we've got a whole lot of equipment here, and we've got a new smart meter that is the same kind APS is using in their service territory now. It's a Landis+Gyr Focus AXR. And we're going to be running the electricity for the house through this smart meter, and we're going to be measuring the waveforms with this equipment. And here's Paul. He's going to tell us about this equipment and what's going on here.
Thanks, Warren. So what we've done is made a board, okay, and it's connected, like Warren was telling you, to both phases. All right, so you've got 120 volts traveling through to this panel, and we're measuring the dirty electricity on both phases right now. So we're doing this in GS units, Gram-Stetzer units. We've got 15 on one phase and 25 on the other. It's somewhat clean. Now, traveling through...
Somewhat clean, excuse me. You mean that...
power. Clean power.
The power is clean. In other words, we have a nice waveform with no high voltage transients.
Right.
All of you in TV land can look up high voltage transients.
So the power right now is being directed with this double throw switch, and it's traveling through a Gram ubiquitous filter. The gentleman that designed this has patents for the ICBM missile guidance system, so he was no dummy. What this filter does is it takes out the 60 hertz and gives us pure frequency over here that's riding on the 60 hertz.
What is this over here? What is this?
So this is an oscilloscope. This is a Fluke oscilloscope. It's not influenced by anything. It's battery operated. And channel B, or input B, is connected through the filter, and channel A is not going through the filter. So you see the 60 hertz. This is what it would look like if you were to look at a 120 volt AC receptacle. All right, so to measure RF transmitting from the smart meter, we're using an HF59B from Gigahertz Solutions, and you'll hear when it transmits. All right, so I'm going to just
hear like little ticks.
Yeah. You'll hear a distortion.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to attach this to the panel. All right. And now we're going to measure electricity running through the smart meter, all right?
Okay.
Right now the switch isn't thrown. As you can see, there's nothing happening. Yeah. So we're going to turn this on.
Whoa.
Right. So we've got quite a bit of distortion going on, all right?
And that tick, that's the smart, listen to it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're going to try to catch it when it transmits.
Yeah. That didn't look like that when we just had, we just had the analog going.
Right. So I've had enough of that.
That was a lot of transmissions too in just a small amount of time.
And we're seeing this with the new smart meters.
Yeah, they're more active.
Much more active.
Yeah, not that the other ones were good, but this is worse.
Right. So if your head was on the other side of this panel, which mine was when I first was introduced to the smart meters.
Because your bed was right there.
My bed was on the other side of the panel for the house. So I was absorbing quite a large magnetic field and an electric field, as this will.
In addition to the broadcast microwaves.
Right, and so when this started to transmit, I woke up, and that was at 3:12 in the morning.
Yeah. So I think what we're seeing here, folks, is not just the microwave transmissions that go through the air from the smart meter, but they also, because this is at the entrance of the electricity to your house, the transmission, the frequencies of the transmissions get sent along the wiring as well, and that's what we're seeing here on this Fluke oscilloscope. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't stay in the wiring.
Right.
It actually radiates 6 to 8 feet from the wire. So it's not just coming from the little outlet. If you were to take the wire,
so we're basically living in a big antenna.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. So you can't really escape that. So people that are sleeping in a bedroom with a smart meter connected to it are going to have a higher exposure than somebody that's going to sleep in a room on the other side of the house. They're still going to have an exposure, but not as great as one.
Yeah. And so this would explain why a lot of people who could handle a baby monitor, their cell phone, the Wi-Fi, all that stuff, this is why the smart meter puts those people over the top.
Right.
In terms of illness and discomfort and
correct
and what have you.
Correct. Yeah.
All the symptoms that the people can show from this.
Well, the frequencies being transmitted it's not just the 900 megahertz that's
the microwave.
That's the microwave effect. But this effect is much greater. It's like no other device in your home. You are absorbing this, and you're absorbing frequencies known to affect the cell membrane. So down into the 10 kilohertz range, 15 kilohertz range, and it's been known for over 50 years that these particular frequencies and waveforms.
When you say known by who?
By IEEE, so the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, from the
that's a mainstream outfit.
Yeah, the EPRI, Journal of Neurophysiology. They're really excited about using this instead of medication when they do surgery, because they're able to create nerve block by opening potassium channels and calcium and sodium channels just with frequencies. So 10 kilohertz.
So it has some positive use, but in your home all the time, it's maybe not so positive, huh?
Yeah, probably not so much. Anything that can affect you on the biological level is a poison. It's just a matter of dose.
Yeah. So you're getting dosed all the time with one of these.
All the time, yeah. So this is not like your baby monitor. This isn't like your cell phone. This is like no other device you're exposed to, because it's using all the wiring that travels through this panel as an antenna. So it's an energized antenna.
Because it's connected to it.
Correct. It's the largest antenna, and you're exposed to this 24/7 if you're in the house 24/7. So it never cleans up, as you saw. Once you put this thing on, it's a nightmare. Yeah. So what I've done is
we've done a number of takes in this video, and it's always the same.
Yeah. So next we're going to just look at what kind of frequencies we've got showing up. Let's see here. Oops.
The 2 to 50 kilohertz range, it's not talked about much or at all when we talk about smart meters. Most people focus on the microwaves that are transmitting. So these kilohertz frequencies are doing some severe damage to people, and until this video, nobody knows about that.
And if you want to look up what's happening in the kilohertz range, these are just some of the studies.
Wow.
And these aren't
stack.
Well, this is a stack, and some of them are single pages. This is from the IEEE, so you can find this with the IEEE.
That's a mainstream organization of electrical engineers, isn't it?
Right.
And what's that study saying?
It's saying that they're able to cause, this one right here, electrical stimulation of 10 kilohertz at 5 milliamps was applied for 5 seconds at half the axonal length. What are they
what's
trying to
that
do?
mean?
They're modeling analysis of negative effects of high-frequency electrical stimulation on axonal behaviors. So that's the title to that particular one. Here's another one: high-frequency electrical conduction block of mammalian peripheral motor nerve. Okay, using 10
Mammalian would
kilohertz.
be us.
Right. 10 kilohertz, 30 kilohertz, localized electrical nerve blocking at 10 kilohertz again. Anyway, we could go on and on and on, but this is
these are all mainstream organizations.
mainstream organizations. Yeah, there's no debating this.
Right.
There are no studies saying that these frequencies that the smart meter is producing on the electrical wiring or on the electrical field that we're absorbing do not have an effect, a biological effect. There are no studies that are saying that. Not one.
So, Paul, you mentioned that these different frequencies radiate out from the wiring to a distance of like 6 to 8 feet. How do you know that?
Well, I've got an electric field meter. This particular one is made in Germany from Gigahertz Solutions, and we'll turn it on here. And right now it's measuring 11 volts per meter in the air.
In the air.
Right. So it's radiating from the wiring. We'll get close to one and show you how it will go up. So we've got
Get close to an outlet? Yeah.
Right, exactly. So
Wow.
so your head could
Yeah, if
be
you were
right next to that
if you were to
right.
bed, yeah.
Right. So you're looking at about 44, 45 volts per meter.
Yeah.
Right at this location.
Yeah, good thing I don't sleep there.
Right, correct. But if you're absorbing that and those high frequencies are traveling on that wire,
Yeah.
it's going to radiate into your head and into your whole body.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why we don't want to sleep with the power on in our bedrooms, because there are other things that are creating high
Yeah,
frequencies.
well, we turn ours off in the bedroom. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it would seem to me that, many people involved in the smart meter issue are focused on the 900 megahertz frequency, which is the microwave transmission. But none of us knew that there were these other frequencies sort of hidden in that and are being transmitted as well. So if I was a power company, if I was a lawyer, if I was the power company's lawyer, if I was the power company's insurer, I would be very concerned about this. If I was a damaged individual, I would be wanting more information about this, because, in my opinion, this is why people are getting damaged. Why people who previously could handle all their wireless gadgetry, their Wi-Fi on their cell phone, and then when they get the smart meter in their house, all of a sudden their world falls apart, and the devices that they used to be able to handle, they can no longer handle. And it's just an overexposure of these frequencies. Is that right?
From what I found, I'm using their equipment, using their studies.
You mean like mainstream stuff?
Mainstream, yeah. They're going to use a Fluke oscilloscope.
Yeah, this is like the best, isn't it, Fluke?
Well, it's up there. It's well respected,
Yeah.
in the industry. So
Yeah.
I'm going to use their, I'm using their panel. We're using their electricity, their smart meter.
Yeah.
We're just putting a little puzzle together. That's all.
Yeah.
So
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for doing this.
You bet. So there you have it, folks.